Okay, we are currently live. Let's share that
link.
live. Fanboy Matalinks. Hello and welcome to the Fanboy Modeling School. I am the Fat Mantis. I am here with...
Your man Steve, real name, no gimmicks, your friend to the end.
Can you promise there's no gimmicks?
There are no gimmicks. I can't afford them. I just cannot afford them.
Honestly, times are tough in this recession. Am I right?
Yeah, absolutely, man. We got the inflation going on. Got that inflation.
I used to afford mad gimmicks, yo. And now we just simply can't. What up, Dragon, a.k.a. the Mini Pearl? We've got Shaolin Iceboxer in the house. Of course, Rogue Radio and Izzy. What up? Who else is up in here? I see a bunch of people coming into the chat right now, and we thank each and every one of you for coming in. The real question right now is, Steven, my man, how are you?
I'm good, man. Survived another retail hell week. You know, Black Friday, everything leading up to it is just devastating. But I made it through. Man. I made it through.
I am so utterly, insanely impressed.
Yeah, you know what? I thought it would be different on the other side, being an overpaid supervisor. But I realize now the expectation, every meeting I had leading up to Black Friday was about metrics and performance. And they were using words like synergy and
let's be proactive. We need to get our synergy on. Oh man, there's nothing worse than somebody who uses the word synergy.
When I hear the word synergy, I hear like an Austrian accent, like some motivational speaker.
Swedish people, some Swedish architecture firm, like trying to be new age or something, is just like, we need to be innovative and without regret. Hashtag fangirls for fanboys. Love you, Princess Bex. Thank you.
Welcome in. Yes, Rogue, it's good to be live again. Did we go live last week? I can't remember. It feels like last week was so long ago, but I don't think we did.
No, we did. No. I don't know.
I don't remember anymore.
It doesn't matter because we're here now.
Bex, yes, they did break out the chat with the grab, and I can't even go into it. I can't go into it. Your boy was out there hustling on the floor with my line levels. You know,
floors are the worst.
Selling, strategizing, being strategical in my strategy, as my higher ups would say. I just want to give a shout out to everyone that's here right now. Thank you for coming through. Fanboy Modeling School is an endeavor and complete self-loathing, and we work hard.
I've got a lot of that. After any holiday, I've got a lot of that.
How are you, brother? How was your holiday? I know you can't go into it, but
it was a mixed bag of rage and adrenaline and hate and self-defeat and found family and substance abuse, not necessarily mine. It was a quest of quitting and not quitting, making it up a hill, dominating, succeeding, and exhaustion.
Yes, just like every Thanksgiving should be. Just the way
life is difficult. Life is just very difficult.
When you think about what Thanksgiving is celebrating and what it culminated in, I think that the end chapter, or if you will, since this is Fanboy, the end game of, and I mean end game in comparison to the movie Endgame, after an endeavor, the undertaking of the Pilgrims, was Manifest Destiny, right? So when you think about what Thanksgiving led up to, it's appropriate that you struggle on that day, that you're tired. I will give a shout out to Mrs. Holdup. We had Thanksgiving breakfast for the second time. Oh, I'm sorry, Thanksgiving lunch for the second time, 2 years in a row. And I have now found that is the appropriate time to eat all that food.
That is such an old man thing to do. To be like, I am asleep by 4 p.m., so we have to have Thanksgiving at 12:30.
Bro, it's amazing. You eat your food at 12. You're on the couch at 12. We watched the parade, then we watched the dog show afterwards, and then some football. And when I looked up, usually I hate when you eat dinner too late on Thanksgiving because it's 8 and you're trying to get family out of there and shit. But
I didn't eat till 10:30. And I didn't have lunch because I was like, I'm saving up room. And I went there, and the person said they were cooking all day, and they were supposed to have and we were going there at 4, and I was like, this is gonna be great. And this motherfucker didn't do anything. and then they're like, the bird's going in soon. I'm like, going in?
The bird should have been in.
Rogue Radio says, I don't remember when you guys went live. Then I realized I didn't hit the notification bell. Oops. Shame on you, Rogue, but we still love you over there.
Yes. And shout out to you guys. I enjoyed that episode. I finally watched the replay of you and Rogue Radio doing your last conspiracy episode. Always fun. Always a good time.
Always a good time. Rogue Radio she was destined to be in my life.
Yes.
And all of yours. I hope you're listening to her podcasts.
Yes. Rogue, if you want to drop a link in the chat, I think it should be clickable. Oh, no, it won't be unless we give you privileges. We'll just let them know where they can find you, Rogue, and, what time you usually drop your joints. My brother.
Wait, before we get into it, I want to remind everyone to like this video, subscribe to this channel, and keep tuning in to Fight Juice Online for a lot of Fanboy Modeling School, live game streams, and even more fun nerd stuff to come.
Yes,
Yes,
indeed.
Yes,
Gotta get back on the grind on YouTube. This is like our casual thing right here. It's like there's not much effort. Well, besides on your part, you've gotten the transitions down to a science, man. You using a stream deck over there or something? The transitions.
No, it's just we've been doing this so long. I finally got the hang of it. I gotta say that it's funny that you say this is our lowest pressure stream, and it is, right. But it's also, I think, the funnest and honestly, I think the best. This is the best podcast I'm involved in on the reg.
Oh, yeah, I feel the same way too, man. I feel the same way. It's crazy, right? It's absolutely crazy. Here's the crazy thing about it, right? I have not done anything on my own personal YouTube channel. I looked over, I hadn't checked in a while, I was stuck at 324, and I'm at 328 now. So shout out to the algorithm.
You know what it is? People are still signing up to follow me, even though I haven't put up a video in 2 weeks. So God bless them. I do have to put up a video though.
Honorable mentions. Want to talk about Twitter real quick. Want to talk about Twitter Spaces. Want to talk about Elon, and just
the hero who will save us all.
Right. Just last week. Elon was doing some cleaning, I guess, around the office, found a bunch of Stay Woke shirts in the closet.
That is hysterical. Yo, this guy's so eccentric. He's making sure to look in every closet and cabinet of the offices. They have 15 floors.
Oh, Bex is getting salty at me right now. No, Bex, this is a podcast format. Pillow Talk with the Pink Princess is a live stream. It's different. There's distinctions, Bex. There are distinctions between these things.
Not only that, it can't be the best because it's on Spoon. So
Bex is going to cut you. Bex is going to cut you just like she cut the person she got $300 from today. Ask her on the side, Mantis. Bex got $300 today.
Good for you, Bex. I'll say this, that I don't mind. She can come and cut me because that would mean at least I get to see her face again because I haven't seen her in forever.
Ooh, that was smooth. What up, Cincy? What up, Cincy?
Yeah, Bex says, I missed y'all yesterday. We missed you too. I definitely ate my food at noon. Okay.
That's the appropriate time to eat. That's the appropriate time.
Gotta go, guys. I'm at work. Another hour. Much love. Yo, live that dream. Izzy, always good to see you. Cincy Star up in the house.
DJ Cincy Star.
You had a great Thanksgiving, brother.
Check out DJ Cincy Star's second channel, Mook the Gamer. Minecraft commentary. Great video quality on the Minecraft. I gotta tell you, man, that shit is like HD 1080p for show. Firing at
I hope since he's still putting up those links in my Discord.
I believe he is. He dropped one the other day. In our private, and then I'm pretty sure it went into Hold Up TV and Rogue Point.
I gotta take Mother Dukes to the hospital tomorrow. Doctor stuff. But it's early in the morning, and I know that's when he does his stream. So in the waiting room, I'm gonna be watching some Minecraft.
That's right. I hope Mom's is okay. I hope your Mom's is.
She's
good.
okay. Just how they just love. They love old people going to the doctor all the damn time. Like,
why don't you come on down on the first? You're like, it's the
why?
31st.
Why? She's fine. She's still juggling. Why do we have to move? Rogue Radio says, my Thanksgiving consisted of avoiding my blood family. I spent the day with my husband's family, who are amazing. That's great. Yes. And so one of my besties, one of my really good friends, and his wife took me in because I had some family issues. Anyone who follows me on Instagram probably saw the drama going down.
Right.
That I took a pathetic picture of myself on the train at 3 a.m.
Yeah, your Twitter was lit. I was like, what is happening right now, man? What is happening?
But yeah.
Go ahead.
Bex says, never mind. That was cute, Mantis. Thank you.
So Elon Musk cleaning out the closets, found Stay Woke T-shirts. This is old news, but it's relevant news in the office, the Twitter office. They look like they've been abandoned. They look like they hadn't even been touched. But the fact that
That's for the new cult members. The cult members of Twitter have to wear that.
Stay woke.
Stay woke. It's a robe with a cloak on it.
But that's actually not the honorable mention I wanted to lean into. I wanted to get back to a conversation briefly in regards to what Elon's thinking about doing with Twitter. You know, he had some of the engineers come look at the code of Twitter when he acquired it, and you know, he's got some ideas coming through, looking to put in a pay option into Twitter to compete with PayPal, right?
Right.
There's always the rumors. He hasn't said anything officially that he's doing this. He's hinted at it, but the rollout of video streaming on Twitter.
I would be so for that. I would. Yeah. Right now I have my personal YouTube doing YouTube, but those videos also go up on Odyssey. They also go up on Rumble. Those are like lesser competitors. If Twitter actually has videos, I'll put those on Twitter as well.
Yeah, if Twitter goes to that realm, man, and if he's willing to be more forgiving with the algorithm, right? Yeah, you know, I'm all about giving the small streamer a chance. I'm not trying to take the shine away from the big streamers. They've obviously paid their dues and they deserve it. But, you know, you want to give smaller people a chance too. You might find something that, you know, you can monetize and make a bit of money with. And Fanboy, at this point where we're at monetarily, you know, we'd be willing to give Twitter an easy 25% of the take.
Call us, Elon.
We give you 25%. You bump us up that algorithm. Right. But yeah, I thought that I still think that's fascinating. I'm following that closely. You know, I'm not a Bitcoin guy. I don't believe in virtual money as per se, even though it's all virtual technically now.
But you know, he's all about Dogecoin. And I thought it'd be funny if he put Dogecoin into Twitter, and there's a way we can pay stuff off with Dogecoin or earn it from tweeting.
Right. It's like Monopoly money. Like I'm handing you fake money, and you're handing me fake money, and then someone on the side is explaining the science on why it's not fake money. I don't fuck with the Bitcoin or the Dogecoin or any of that shit.
Yeah, it's so crazy because it's clearly in a money embezzling scheme. Right. I'd be like, I need to get down with this. Also, I need to get down with an NFT. That is what rich people use to embezzle money.
Yes.
They try to explain it to the little man, and they're like, wait, how is it worth money? And they're like, because blah, 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 blah. Don't worry about it. And you're like, well, take 700 on that case.
You know, but that would be great, man. So here's the thing, right? You know, we are two grizzled veterans at this shit, man. Been doing this for a few years now. You know, our own up and downs and battles. Shout out to the Hold Up TV, DJ Cincy Star, Princess Bex. You know, we got Pillow Talk on Thursdays, and I think about often, right? How Fight Juice can get to the next level, how Rogue Planet can get to the next level, Pillow Talk, DJ Cincy Star, all that stuff. So I'm always doing research. And one thing I've noticed, right? So you got a lot of big content creators. We've talked about this ad nauseum, but I want to make sure it stays in the ether. Who are jumping ship from Twitch to YouTube, right? And I think that if Twitter opened up their own 1080p, it has to be 1080p at the very least. No 720, right? We need 1080p HD.
Both Odyssey and Rumble are at 720, and it annoys the shit out of me.
Yeah, you have to pay. You have to pay for that shit.
Pay to get the higher thing.
Yeah, it's bullshit. And if Elon would be willing to open up the algorithm and allow people the content, you know, invest some time in the spaces, man. If he really invested in spaces, I'd be doing audio again and live video again in a heartbeat, right? But that's just something that, you know, I'm just going to keep throwing out there, man. You know, you got friends that make content. You know, someone sent you a link to their new podcast. It's free to click on a link and support your friends, right? For anyone that's not here right now, for the listening audience, support your buddy or your female buddy or whomever, your human buddy that posts the link on Facebook, right? You know, these people are grinding. We're grinding to make this content possible. Gang.
Indeed. I agree with you. There's a lot of crazy stuff going on Twitter. Like, I don't know if you heard, but he didn't just bring back Ye and Trump. He's bringing back everybody.
Yeah, he brought Andrew Tate back.
Yeah, he's bringing everyone back. And you know, I don't know if you know that Apple threatened him.
Yes, I am up to speed on this. I am up to speed on it.
Yeah, he was like, I'm going to bring another 65,000 banned things back. And they said, if you keep this up, we're going to have you on our app store. And he said, it's all right. I'll make my own phone company. I'll have my own phones. Yeah. So, and it'll come already free. Each phone will already have Twitter on it, is what he said.
It's crazy that Apple would take this position and yet not give access to criminals to investigators, right? In the name of privacy, right?
Well, yeah. Oh my God, are you kidding me? But Apple, don't even get me started on that company, man. Because here's what I'm saying: they were fine with Twitter before when it was filled with kiddie porn, and Elon Musk, I don't know why he's not getting credit, has eliminated a ton of kiddie porn. Like he's eliminated all these things. He's been cracking down on all these things, and people are like, "This is amazing, this is wonderful," but all he gets is bad press in the mainstream press.
Well, anything that's going to attack the status quo, the establishment, whether it's right or left. In this instance, we're talking about the left is bad, right? And what it really boils down to with left-leaning media has nothing to do with left-leaning ideology. It really doesn't. I wish people would wake up to that. It has more to do with them holding on to their market, right? CNN, MSNBC.
Yeah,
ABC, all these they want everything to go back to the way it was before. Even radio, where the stranglehold was, we disperse the information. We are the gatekeepers of what's good and what's profitable and what's moral. And you have to come tune into these channels. And that's just not the way anymore.
That reporter, that journalist, I'm sure you've seen the clip. That Minka, whatever, I can't pronounce her last name. It's some Czech name or some crazy thing like that. Right. And she said, remember that quote when she's like, Elon Musk thinks that he can influence how people think, but that is our job. Like, that was the most shocking thing I've ever seen in my life. And I was like, how did that woman not lose her job? But it's not, what it is they're probably scolded her for telling the truth, but that's really what they are. They're like, we tell you what to think. Not Elon. But Elon doesn't want to tell you what to think. He wants freedom of speech, which I'm obviously very pro.
Another honorable mention, right? I don't know if you're up to speed on this. The Balenciaga shenanigans, and now I'm about to expose the hypocrisy of social justice warriors, because I believe in social justice. I just want to make that. I believe that there are things.
Let me say something.
Go for it.
I will say, because this draws back to what you said before. That it's not actually leftist ideas that me and you have a problem with. I don't have a problem with universal health care. I don't have a problem with like welfare or these concepts or anything like that. But the modern day left in America isn't just about that. No. They have a bunch of other weird things that have nothing to do with being
thrown into it.
They kind of slide in and they're like, by the way, we also abuse children or something. Like, that's what I'm against.
They're like, you like sandwiches? Here's a piece of bread. Universal health care. Forgive student debt. Equality in the workplace. And by the way, we want to put some teddy bears and dominatrix outfits to some of your kids.
They sign it and you're like, but most people don't watch what they take a bite of.
Yeah, no, not at all.
They're going to take a bite of the sandwich. But I'm looking down and I'm like, can you take that piece off? That last piece off? What's wrong? You don't like sandwiches?
Rogue Radio says Balenciaga needs to burn at the stake. I agree. I also find it extremely interesting, but not surprising, that we don't have people hashtagging, tweeting about this. Even though Kim Kardashian, a great warrior for social justice and reform, as you know,
my YouTubers are. My YouTubers are talking about it. You're right. The in terms of real celebrities, she's the only one even addressing.
She's the only one. Kanye called this a little while ago, but I found it interesting, right? No one's speaking about it. No real coverage in the media about it.
Did you see the extent of all the hidden information in there?
No. Lay it out.
So do you know about the hidden legal draft that is in one of the photos?
No.
There's a legal draft in there, and the names on the legal draft cite a case, the case dealing with child pornography and how you determine child pornography.
Oh boy.
And then and then they have the thing that the teddy bears in an S&M gear with a lock on it. And in the next picture, there's a male adult who has the key.
Yuck.
And then this gets satanic, bro.
Yeah.
There's literally some tape in the picture. It's like tape that you would crime scene tape.
Right.
And the word Balenciaga is there, their company's name, but they use 2 A's, meaning ball. The first Baal is the name of Baal, a demon in the Bible.
Yeah, it's very sick.
I'm like, who would do that? unless there's some Satan worshiper.
Here's the thing, man. I know that it's hip and it's swanky right now for people to say, "Hey, I'm gonna announce that I'm a Satan worshiper," for whatever the reason may be. But you can't divorce the term from what it actually means and what Satan actually means, unless you're that weird guy that's on YouTube. Maybe you've seen this dude before, the very famous YouTuber who is a Satanist, and he portrays Satanism as a altruistic, peaceful endeavor in spirituality.
As you know from my Mothership Monday that I had with Lainey, where we got very, very contemptuous, but love and respect to my co-host Lainey. I don't buy into any of that.
No. You say you're a Satanist, and I'm like, well, I'll make sure they save you a perfect seat in hell.
Because they're all like, yo, Satanists get kids winter coats. I'm like, yeah, and then they molest them and burn them at the same, man.
In the winter coats, they got them.
In the same winter coats, man.
Yes, I thought that was interesting. No
Brooke
coverage.
says it all goes back to ball.
It always does. No coverage in the media about that, right? No one's having
people are shutting up. People are claiming up. It's crazy that it was allowed to. What it is every picture has some hidden weird shit in it, and you're like, this is so crazy. And Balenciaga, now that they've been caught, they're like, we're gonna sue the guy who took these photos, and we're like, you don't look over the photos, you didn't see like the legal document in the photo and be like, what is this?
No. They have no editor. There's no one approving anything at the door.
I love it that they passed the buck. That they're like, we have no control over what appears in our magazines or our ads. You don't. You don't have any control over any.
But you seem to be completely aware of what Kanye's saying when you separated yourself from him, right? So it's amazing to just watch people do the tic-tac-toe dance of bullshit. So for all you budding social justice warriors, I need you to now get your phones out, right? Hashtag Balenciaga is evil. Go ahead. Let's get the campaign going. Your boy Steve is always going to hold you accountable. Same way I'm going to do with the right. I always like to lean on the right as well. I got one more honorable mention for you, but it's some
real quick shout out to Lainey. What up, fam? I was literally just talking about us and Mothership Monday.
Yes, you were. Got some ghetto shit for you.
Ghetto shit.
More words. Star, the OG, some premium hood news. So, strange thing happened the other day, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if the boy 21 Savage, I don't know if you're up on this hip hop artist. I don't know if I would qualify him as a hip hop artist, but he is a rapper, right? And Nas dropped a new album recently called King Disease 3. He's been working with a young man from the West Coast by the name of Hitman. Great album. Listen to it on the way to work the other day. As you would expect from Nas, fire, right? Absolute fire album, fire bars, all that stuff. But 21 Savage was having a Clubhouse the other day. He was on the app Clubhouse. And I don't want to take his words out of context because there was a longer conversation going on. He merely stated that he doesn't think that Nas is relevant anymore. And as it were, people appear to clip these things, right? And then put them up on the internet. And Nas's brother, who's an old school Queensbridge, shout out to Queensbridge, Queensbridge guy, said, no, 21 Savage is trash and not relevant. And now it's turned into a whole thing. Is Nas relevant? Is he really relevant? Are people not allowed to have their opinions?
So many thoughts.
Go for it.
Okay, so 21 Savage is low bar famous. Like, he's not like a top rapper that everyone acknowledges. People aren't singing his shit in the streets, right?
No. Okay.
So I would say he's not that relevant either. However, I do understand the concept when they say, here's what I'm saying. Is Nas popular? Do they listen to him? Yes. Is he relevant? That's different. I would argue, this is like our discussion about what's the difference between an A-lister and a movie star, right? I would say that like Nas isn't like the top tier, like he yawns and everyone's like, what does it mean? You know what I mean? Like, he's not that guy. So I do think any older performer is less relevant in the modern day. I understand that. It's disrespectful to say, especially from a C-list rapper.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
no,
I'm saying that only the newest, hippest people are actually relevant in any scene.
Yeah, and you know, I want to give 21 Savage his flowers, man. I have never listened to any of his music, and if I have, it was only because DJ Sensi Star played a lot of this stuff. Right?
I only know him because I I got tired of all the stupid home pages, so I made page 6 my homepage.
Oh.
So it's a Gotham column is my
Right,
homepage, and so I've seen things about him, and that's really the only reason I even know who that is.
Yeah, and he's new famous, right? 21 Savage, I would say, from my vantage point, as a person in my station, I'm 41 years old, right? So I'm not tapped into everything the kids like. But I would say that he's new famous in the sense that he's more relevant online and social media than I believe he is for his lyrics. Now, obviously, someone's going to come in the comment section. If they do, make sure to like, share, and subscribe and say, hey, I know every 21 Savage song that there is. But here's the problem, right? Nas was nominated and I believe won a Grammy last year. So,
Right, it doesn't stop. It certainly doesn't stop. But like, I'll give you an example though. I'll give you an example. Would you say? Well, I mean, I guess he's not alive, supposedly alive. But I was about to be like, is Elvis? But no, we have to choose someone who lives. So, is Billy Corrigan from the Smashing Pumpkins relevant? No, he's not relevant.
No.
Do I love his music? Is he an OG? Do we love him for his time? He's
an icon.
Icon. Yes, he's iconic. And Nas is definitely iconic.
100%. And I don't know if Nas is spoken on this himself publicly, but yeah, this does lend itself to our conversation about who's an icon and what's not an icon. I would say Nas, from my vantage point and my estimation, is relevant because he's foundational in regards to hip hop. People are always going to tune in. I think more for Nas than say an Eminem, right? And I'm a big Eminem fan, as you know. But people are going to tune in to see what Nas has to say because he's an elder statesman in this shit, right? You're gonna Nas drops an album or Nas did an interview. Most people are going to tune in because they're like, let me see what this cat's talking about right now.
It's true. You are right that like. No one would ever ignore him. No one would ever say, shut up, old man. They're going to listen to what he has to say or whatever his opinion on shit is.
No, absolutely, man. But I figured I'd drop that in. And the last honorable mention for the evening, I don't know if you're up on this, American Tourist, apparently a very nice soul and human being, entrepreneur, young woman by the name of Shaquilla Robinson, went to Cancun, Mexico, with 5 people who I would not say were her friends, and she turned up dead. And then videos surfaced on the internet of her friends, quote unquote, accosting her in the hotel room in Cancun. And then one of the friends that's actually a family friend, texted the mom, Shanquilla's mom, and said, oh, she's not feeling well. She drank too much. She'll call you later. But she was, she was dead. Right, the medical examiners had declared that she was dead. They showed up to the hotel room. It's a whole thing, man. It's a whole thing. If you're not up to speed on it, Porsche, R.I.P. Shanquilla Robinson. This is a young lady that had her whole life ahead of her and was doing extremely well. She was a hairstylist, did hair for young women, mostly young women and women in her community. Was doing very well, but Mexico is not letting this shit ride. They just issued a warrant last week, and an arrest has been made in the Shanquilla Robinson
thank
case.
God.
And the feds here in America are cooperating with the Mexican authorities. And yeah, someone's going to do time in Mexico over this shit, as they should. Because, Mantis, if I send you the video, she was getting beat up by a girl while it's being filmed, because that's the culture now, right? A male is filming another young lady beating up poor Shanquilla, and they're like, Shanquilla, you're not even going to fight back? And she says, no. She went out like a straight G. She's like, I'm not going to fight back. Cause of death that they told the mother, the family friend, was alcohol poisoning. By the way, before anything had been released, all 4 of those people had jumped ship back to America. The actual cause of death, according to the Mexican medical examiners, was she had a broken spine, hear me correctly, broken spine and dislocated neck. She died a horrible death, and I didn't know if you were up to speed on that.
I'm not up to speed on that, but however, I try to avoid all these like true crime stories because they depress the shit out of me.
I know.
You know, young ladies disappearing, people getting raped, like shit like that. I can't even watch SVU. Like, I'm just like, I get like,
it's hard to watch that shit now that I got kids for real.
Yeah, it's absolutely horrible. It breaks my heart. This poor girl didn't put up a fight because she was like, I'm not gonna fight my friends, and they're not her friends; they're animals. It's absolutely horrible. I think that might be one of the worst parts of the story that you're telling me. That it would be one thing if she fought back, but she didn't even fight back because she thought like it's not worth fighting my friends. They're just being stupid, and it just that is just crazy, man. And it's pretty upsetting.
Absolute craziness. One last thing I'm going to throw in there, and this is just to make sure I'm giving not my liberal friends, but I'm attacking the foundation of social justice warriors in their absence in these cases. So here's the part that's really going to piss you off. So instead of accepting the fact that the woman who had done the damage to Shanquilla in the video, we don't know if she was the person that had perpetuated her death, was a woman of the same race as Shanquilla. There was an ad campaign going online that this was not the responsibility of the quote-unquote race of the woman that was there, that in fact it was a transgender woman that had done it. And then when I saw this narrative being spread around Twitter, on Black Twitter and on YouTube, I said, wow. You're willing to use another community as a scapegoat rather than deal with the fact that
this is my issue.
So much for allyship.
This is my issue with identity politics.
Right.
The truth is, if you really break a human down, they are more than any one identity.
Right? Yeah.
People are like, well, this person's black, but they're also gay. Or maybe they had a parent or grandparent who's Latino, so they're also Hispanic. And you know, it goes on and on. The list could go on. Who are they? What it is the media picks and chooses how they want to perceive you. Isn't it convenient?
Right.
It's totally fucking insane. All humans are a mixture of all sorts of shit.
Yes. And it goes against what the real enemy of the people today, narratives, the age of the spin, as the great prophet Dave Chappelle said.
I'm telling you, yes. And I'm telling you, the government is doing this to us so that we fight each other and we don't look at what they're doing. And I'm starting to sound like some conspiracy theorist motherfucker. As you know, I'm into that shit. But I believe it. I absolutely believe that's what identity politics was invented for.
Yeah, and it's terrible. So I just wanted to throw that out there. I had not done anything on Conversations That Matter, or we haven't done Dope Dynamics, so we didn't talk about it. Obviously, this is not the platform for that, but I just threw it out there. Now, last honorable mention involving some nerd shit and racism, because now these two things can't be divorced. So, are you up to speed on the Mexico City controversy in regards to Namor from Wakanda Forever?
No, I am not.
So, young lady, I believe she's a Mexican national. I will hit the link. I'll give it to Mantis so he can put it in the description of the video. But if you need it, you can hit me up in Discord or, go to Mantis' Discord. I'll provide it. So a young lady, not a young lady, a woman who is a Mexican national, was giving praise to Wakanda Forever. She was giving praise to Wakanda Forever, and she enjoyed the movie, but she was giving real praise because the actor casted, she was like, thank you for casting this her words, beautiful brown man, this beautiful brown native looking man in this film. This beautiful brown Oaxacan looking man in this film.
He definitely looks like a native. He, obviously, yes. I'm probably going to get canceled for this, but as we all know, when you meet people from Central America, they tend to either lean toward looking like a Spaniard or looking like a native. And so I would say, I don't know if they have words for that down there, but like
they do.
They
absolutely
he looks like a native.
Well, the disgraced city alderman, the woman that had made the comments about the gentleman who had the black son, she had also made some comments about the Oaxacan community in Los Angeles. And, but that's neither here nor there. So apparently, this woman is a content creator, the one that was praising Wakanda Forever and enjoyed the fact that they had put that actor in as Namor. She says that she was dealing with colonial and seeing colonial mentality in regards to the Mexican media because they were upset that they casted such a brown man for the role of Namor.
Okay, so this is so interesting. This is so funny. This is similar to Shang-Chi.
Yes,
right.
I knew you were gonna go there. I knew you were gonna go there.
This was gonna happen. So what it is mainstream media is controlled by the mainstream government, and the mainstream government is actually pro-colonist. Usually ebbs that way. In America, it's white people. In Mexico, it's Spain. In China, it's mainland China, right? And so they have standards of what is beautiful, what is a hero, what is a person looks. And if you're one of the ethnicities or groups that are like the smaller groups, you're not welcome. So in Shang-Chi, that happened. That Simu Liu, who a lot of people are critical of him, I actually love the dude.
I think he's a great guy.
Yeah, they were like in China, they're like, he's not a real man. He doesn't look like a real man. They're going on and on. It ended up talking about really what they were getting down to, but they didn't want to say it. Is his ethnic profile because he's from a minority group, and that he doesn't look like mainstream China, right?
Yeah, mainline.
And that's the same thing with Tena Horta. He looks like a native.
Indigenous
and less like a
person.
Spaniard, but in truth, they want to see their heroes or their main characters are Spaniard-looking dudes. They look like conquistadors.
Yeah, here's the crazy thing, man. We'll get off the identity politics. I just want to shout out whether you liked Wakanda Forever or not, right? Again, this leans to the point of Ryan Coogler. If he does land a role as director for what is the one after King Dynasty? Is it Secret Wars then King Dynasty or King Dynasty?
It's it's King Dynasty then Secret Wars.
If it's true that he's going to be the director for Secret Wars, I'm going to go see that because when I think about in retrospect what he was able to pull off and what he did with Wakanda Forever, and then thinking about the actor that portrayed Namor, I think one of the reasons why I had such a hard time with the movies because Namor was such a bastard in that movie. But I was like, oh wow, that's really comics accurate because he's a bastard.
I think he did one thing that went too far. No spoilers for you guys, but he did one thing that I did not like. I think went too far. But the rest of it, I did like. What a son of a bitch he is.
Yeah, but here's the thing: what's too far for Namor? We're talking about the guy during Secret Wars, right? With the Illuminati, is standing there with Marvel's version of the Justice League, right? And they're all talking about how they can stop the incursion, and Namor's like, nah, fuck this. It throws his fucking thing.
However, they're scrubs. What he did something that was really heinous in this movie, and I was really upset with him.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
I can't see him being a hero after that. I'm like, that is too far, man.
Wait, can I ask you a question? Could you see him being a hero in the comics after A versus X after flooding Wakanda?
Here's what I can because I didn't read any of their other like crossovers I just read the main books, and in the main books they don't show anyone really getting killed, so I can write my thing that I'm like, no one's drowning, they're just getting wet. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, you flood a place, people are gonna die. Over here in America, if you have bad rain, someone dies. They're like, there's a big storm, 3 children died, and I'm like, fuck.
I love that. I appreciate your honesty, man. Mantis just admitted to his revisionist mentality. He's like,
that's how we do with everything. We revise the thing. We have headcanon when we watch a movie or things, and we're like, okay, I didn't see it, so it doesn't have to be so. The implication.
And then here I come along shitting on your picnic, like, no, that happened. But I thought that was an interesting conversation.
Curious Rex says Shaolin. Shaolin also says Namor has always been a dick.
He's also Mr. Steal Your Girl. Yes, he is.
This is so fun. This is so funny because for those who don't know, he's also he has. He's all about stealing the Invisible Woman from Mr. Fantastic, and she's like a blonde white chick. So this is also really funny. This is like the story of like a white nerd brings his hot girl into the barrio, and a Spanish gangbanger's like, I'm taking your woman.
or he brings her to the Haven. And it's like, you don't deserve her.
Oh yeah, and then like, you know what? That reminds me of the Chappelle show, The Real World.
Yeah.
Remember that when they're running train on the blonde?
I did have sex with Katie. Katie has some big old titties.
Yeah, absolutely. But
yes,
I love that dude. I love that dude in every way. I just did not like that one particular detail. I wish they had changed it and make it less his fault. And he's unforgivable at this point, but I do love him. You have heard that like he's not like he can't have a show or a movie, right?
Oh, what is there a contractual thing? Because
it's the same contractual. I think it's Universal who has like live action rights to any like thing named Submariner or Namor. So he can't have his own show or movie. He has to appear in other people's stuff, like the Hulk.
So it's funny. Shout out to Comics Cast. He did a video on it. I guess there's rumors and speculations on what is going to happen with Namor next, right? And hopefully they pan that stuff out, you know, and with Universal. They seem to have done it with the Hulk. Obviously, the Hulk has had 2 movies, and they were able to pull that off in agreement with Universal. So can't is a big word. Not a word that really happens in Hollywood when it's like, can we make money if we work together? But I guess that brings us to our one of our main topics of the day. Kick it.
Well, I was going to talk about Disney and Disney losses.
Oh, okay.
Because you're talking about like what greases the wheels of Hollywood? It's money, right?
Right.
Well, you know, and you remember how Bob Chapek was recently released so that they could have stunt casting? It's like a stunt casting.
Fired. They're like fired with no notice.
Yeah, man was given no notice. He's the top level exec at the company, right? And they get the old exec to come back, obviously an emergency, and nobody in the company knew. No one could predict it. All these scoopers on YouTube, they don't know anything.
No.
They claim they know, but they didn't know shit. And so we're like, what does it all mean? What's going on? Yada yada yada. And what has turned out is that it turns out that Bob Chapek has been cooking the books.
Oh no.
Yes, he was trying to show shareholders profits that didn't exist. And apparently, check this out. They're estimating that in the last 2 years, Disney has lost $5 billion across the board, not just any one division, but divisions all over the place.
Really? Wow.
Yes. And so the thing that I think you're thinking of is like, it's true you can make a Namor movie happen if you pay the right people. But right now, Disney does not have that money to burn. They need to do the old-fashioned way. They need a few wins before they can do anything weird. So that's why he was suddenly. That's right. It was a Sunday night, and you heard about what he was going to do that night, right?
No, what was he going to do?
So Elton John was filming a live concert for Disney Plus. It was going to be like the only way you could see it is like on Disney Plus. He was going to introduce it. And right before that, they were like, we need a Zoom call. And they brought him into a Zoom call. They fired him and had security walk him out of the stadium.
Over Zoom. Yeah, that's crazy. Imagine getting fired over a Chinese application.
I was going to say, like, you're at the top of the world. You're like, yo, I'm about to meet Elton John. He's an old guy. So, like, that might have been his hero.
Like, we're not using Teams for this. We're not using Facebook Messenger. Everyone download Zoom.
I love it when people are like Zoom meeting. I'm like, I don't even fucking have Zoom. And then suddenly I don't know. It's like, we're gonna Skype. I'm like, what the hell is Skype?
Yeah, man. I did.
Dragon, have a good one. Thank you for coming by.
Drive safe. I did hear about some of the losses and the margins and stuff like that. Also, this lends to another topic that's been floating around, whether or not other Bob Iger is going to sell Disney. Not that he could unanimously do that on his own, to Apple.
Yes. So wait, hold on. I would we're gonna talk about that. But this also has to do with another one, because as you know, Strange World came out.
Yeah.
I don't like it because it has a similar name to Strange New Worlds off of Star Trek, which is one of the most amazing Star Treks that ever came out.
Right.
But Strange World was an utter flop. Like, not the way that Black Adam was like a flop where you had to wait a couple weeks to see. This was a flop off the bat.
It made
And
like
they're
what,
saying it's
15
going to
million or some shit.
It made
Like,
15 million. It's $180 million movie creation,
oof.
and they're saying it's going to lose close to $200 million probably if it keeps
Right.
trending like this. If like,
Right. And then you got
So they're
Avatar
losing-
in the background, possibly not being able to get back its investment. James
no,
Cameron.
it costs $400 million to make this next movie, and you know what? I don't even want to see it. I'm not trying to hate on you, Cameron. You were good when you were young. But I'm just saying, I have no interest in seeing these blue freaks again.
Yeah, Cameron and his ocean. As shout out to him for all his environmental work. Obviously, I respect and lean into that. But as fuck James Cameron, man. That's
seriously.
And while I'm at it, fuck Quentin Tarantino and Jennifer Lopez too. It's so easy when your project doesn't hit $1 billion to blame it on the MCU, but in actuality, the MCU saved Hollywood from going utterly bankrupt. It saved people from rom-coms where Jennifer Lopez played the same character over and over again. And Quentin
Ben
Tarantino,
Affleck, Ben Affleck is the same thing.
Affleck, and the Quentin Tarantino, right? I've been having this debate about you since I worked at DVD Palace. Shout out DVD Palace. Fuck the owner. On 40 something street in Broadway.
Oh wow, good old DVD Palace.
Had the worst summer job anyone's ever had working at DVD Palace. Worst summer job anyone's ever had. But I've had
this that you're a DVD Palace fan, and as you already had this problem with Gray, but Gray Winthrop, fan of the show, friend of the show. They were a Kim's Video person.
Well, so no, that beef is between Norman and Kim's, right? That's when I was working at a respectable place. I was working at the competitor, the Kim's
DVD
Video.
Palace is a different type of DVD, if you know.
Yeah, in case you guys didn't know, your boy worked at a place that sold DVDs, but they also sold DVDs of the adult variety, and they had those booths.
It was more known for the adult variety.
Yeah, they had those booths up in there, and so I was the guy that had to clean the booths at the end of the night. And I was wondering at the time why they were paying me $10.50, which was really high considering the minimum wage at the time was much lower. I was like, man, it's good pay. And I was like, oh god, it smells like it's everywhere. It's on the ceiling. Like,
can I speak freely real quick?
Yeah.
I don't go to booths like that, but if I did, I'd be respectful where I finished. I would have a little cup or a special rag, a very thick rag. I would not just be like, let me spray all over the wall and let the manservant clean it. That's just disrespectful.
Bro, you know what? I used to make side money there because every once in a while some people would want to co-occupy a booth with each other. So they, I was the gatekeeper, so they had to come get their coins from me.
It was Pee Wee Herman.
Yeah, they had to come get their tokens from me. So they, they're always trying to hand me money. I'm like, put the money on the counter. Don't hand me anything. But people would they throw a 50 here, 100 there to spend some time with each other in the booths, and that's when it got really, really liquidy in there.
Were you allowed to call them on that? Be like, no, 2 men, 2 abodes, get the fuck out of here.
Yes, multiple times I've been like, hey guys, hey, bring it up.
As long as we're talking about grimy stories, we're gonna get back to movies. Don't worry, guys. As we're talking about grimy stories, when I started, so I was a manager of New York Sports Club in Westchester.
These are great. This is great.
And so I was talking to the cleaners, and I was like, "What's up with this and that?" And like, I'm trying to understand what's up with the cleaners. And they, and cleaner would say, and they wouldn't speak a lot of good English, unfortunately, and they would say, and I have someone else translating for me, and they're like, "Well, I couldn't go in there because there were men in there." I'm like, "It's a steam room. You're supposed to go in there. There are men in there." And he goes, "No, there are men in there." And I'm like, and he translates men in there. I'm like, "Yes, there are men in the men's steam room." And then finally the guy looks at me, the translator, goes, "You don't understand. There were men in the steam room." And he couldn't go in. And I was like, oh!
Yo, wait, were you the angry gringo boss that's like,
and I'm like, I don't understand. Why couldn't you clean it up? Why couldn't you clean the shit up? What's so hard? He kept saying, the worker kept saying, there are men in the steam room. And I was like, there should be men in the steam room. That's what's supposed to happen.
So, yeah, we're talking about
Little naive me didn't realize what steam rooms were also used for.
yeah, bathhouses. That one character said in something about Mary in regards to the what is it the rest areas. He's like they're the bathhouses.
Right, and bathhouses of the modern age. These truck stops.
I love that he ends that scene with oh, time she's up. We'll delve into that more deeply next week.
Let's get back to movies.
Anyway, so I've had many a debate about Quentin Tarantino and his relevancy and his impact on Hollywood and stuff. So fuck him too, man. When he shits on
like the dude, man.
you know what? Listen, man, Quentin Tarantino is a footnote in great films that have been made across times. And notice that I said great films, not mediocre. He has made some good movies. I love True Romance. Obviously, I love Pulp Fiction. What is another one?
He's done amazing. Reservoir Dogs, Kill Bill 1 and 2.
Well, let's keep it a buck right now about Reservoir Dogs, right? A film student could have made that movie, right? A film student that had a little bit more time could have made that movie.
Right, but I'm saying that the whole point is it's a low budget movie, but the dialogue and the script is just so good that he wrote.
And listen, Tarantino, if you ever see this is not a shot against you, man. It's just like, and I know people are asking these questions. How does this relate to the topic at hand, man? Marvel is experiencing losses. I do think that Disney is going to bounce back from this, right? If they were sold to Apple, it wouldn't be the end of the world. Actually, Apple, you and I have talked about this before. There was a time when Sony was on Apple's platter there for a second. Sony wasn't looking too good. Their most profitable division being their gaming division, obviously. At the time,
it would have all been Disney back in the day, right?
Like, yeah, and Apple was thinking about acquiring them so they can have catalog for
Apple. Here's the thing. Apple needs catalog. Apple Plus TV is garbage. I love the show Severance. There might be one or two other good shows. The rest is just garbage.
It's nonsense.
It makes garbage constantly, and check this out. There was probably a year or two ago. They're trying to figure out, and so Apple TV Plus gives every Apple user the first couple of months free of Apple TV, and still only 3% of people who have Apple products were signed up.
Yeah,
it's free, and they can't get people to sign. They can't give it away, basically.
Yeah, and in contrast, you sign up for Amazon Prime, you get Prime Video, and there's not shit on there, but motherfuckers are tuning in. For you know what? When High Castle and the detective show was on, that shit was popping, and obviously Rings of Power. Whether you like it or not, people tuned in. I'm sorry to tell you, the facts are the facts.
I love that. Yes, people get. Here's what I'm saying: if you didn't like it because it wasn't canon or it didn't work out, I dig that. But no one can anyone who's trying to sell the idea that Rings of Power didn't sell well is wrong.
Yeah, they're wrong.
Absolutely, and I gotta say. As a man who I teach Sunday school, all these kids be watching Rings of Power.
Yeah, no,
I literally the first day of Sunday school this year, they were like, "Are you watching Rings of Power?" They're like, "Do you watch Lord of the Rings?" I'm like, "I love Lord of the Rings." And they start talking about characters. I'm like, "Oh, you're talking about Rings of Power." But I watched that too, and I think to myself, I regret it. But I'm saying the kids and families are watching it, right?
Yeah, no, absolutely.
But there's all this thing. So here's what I'm saying. When you said earlier, they're like, Apple wants to buy Disney. They're not going to buy Disney. They're going to buy. The rumor is basically the speculation is they're going to buy parts of Disney,
right?
Because Disney. One of the things I think Bob Iger is telling us is that Disney's too big. That might be possible. That's why they might be sucking it up right now.
Could be. Chapek ran it like he ran the parks. Interesting thing, though. Interesting development. I don't know if you're up on this. The Young Turks reported on this. We'll get back to that in a second. Disney, who has been notoriously, the parks, that is, to their workers, have opened up housing for their workers because of how bad the housing market is right now. Interesting turn of events.
Because you know what it is? People were pointing out that Disney paid so low that there are people who clean Disney parks all day and they would end up sleeping in cars in the parking lot of the park. That is not, and when that was reported, that is
nothing
not
magical about that.
Yeah, right. And Mickey's like, "What's the problem? I live in a castle. What's your problem, bro?
Pull yourself up by your bootstraps."
Yeah, and they actually did a documentary of a girl, documentary of a girl who grew up living like that. Like her mom was a cleaner at Disney for many years, didn't speak any English. The daughter lived in a car for many years, and they did a documentary about her. That does not look good for that company. And they look like monsters. Like
Yeah, they are monsters. They are monsters. Now, back to your point about Disney being too big and them selling parts of Apple. Now, so this is all Steve speaking. I'm not speaking on the behalf of Apple. I have no inside track information. I don't think Apple would want parts. I think Apple is going to want it all, and they're going to try to if this was a deal that's actually in the mix, they're trying to lowball Disney for the entire package, right? Because they don't want to go through the same thing that Disney went through when they were acquiring properties, right? They're going to want the entire MCU catalog. They're going to want the entire Disney vault. All of
there's no way Disney's going to give them the MCU catalog. No way.
They might give them Pixar. I can see them giving up Pixar.
Yes, I can see them giving. Sorry, Pixar. I love you, but do I really love you?
Like, you guys are nothing but problems. Like, nothing but problems.
Yo, so wait, real quick. Let me ask you, and this might be different dynamics that's going on with Strange World.
Oh, that's like the evil version of Dope Dynamics. That's like if Bex, Cincy, and I had evil doppelgangers, it would be different dynamics.
Different dynamics. It's the white version. It's the white version of Dope Dynamics. It's like, my name is Steven. This is Rebecca. And this is Cincinnati Star. The composer. The thing. What is going on is
Go for it.
We're talking about, what was I just talking about?
You were talking, I have no idea anymore. Hold on, let me pull it back. Okay, we were talking about Disney in regards to
Strange World. Okay, so Strange World, what's going on with Strange World and its loss of money is different than what's going on. I have a different theory. I have a conspiracy theory. If Rogue Radio is still in the house, which I hope she is, I've got a little minor conspiracy theory going on here.
Okay.
So I don't know if you know, they tried to make Strange World the most diverse of their movies.
Right. Okay.
Interracial couples, main character's gay kid. He has a whole speech about being gay in the middle of it and what it's like to like guys. He has a male love interest. There's a bunch of stuff going on in this movie. And so Disney has already been suffering from all sorts of things, particularly backlash, since they talked against the parental control bill in Florida, where parents are like, well, I get to know if my kid is LGBT, and you don't get to teach them that. I get to teach them that kind of thing. And so, if you notice, this movie flopped, but this movie also did not have any advertising.
None whatsoever.
Even if you look at even things that went to Disney Plus, I'll go to my train station, I see posters of them up. I ain't seen nothing for Strange World.
Not one thing.
So my theory is they got such bad backlash of like people getting pissed about them interfering in politics and LGBT thing that they decided to let this movie tank. Like, it was already in the wheels, and they were like, you know what? Let it tank. We'll move on from this.
You know, I could see that being very, very, very likely, right? And, you know, there's some properties where you can't shelve it and you're just like, we got to release it. Visually, the movie looks amazing. But again, parents are very, very, very opinionated about you telling them how to parent and what is permissible and what's not permissible. And if you go after your main market and say, hey, this is what you should be doing and teaching, you're going to get some pushback. And in this instance, Ron DeSantis jumped on the bandwagon really quickly, as you know, and he used it politically in a game of political theater, and it
worked out for him because people love the shit out of him now.
Yeah.
People are sabotaging Trump so that DeSantis does well. You know what I'm saying? Like, in the name of DeSantis,
here's the problem, man. You guys are woefully underestimating Trump's base, right? Those people are going to turn on DeSantis.
Not only that, Trump is wily. Remember, when he first ran, nobody had any respect.
Nobody had his back,
and he was able to destroy smarter, more politically sound, more established people.
The argument of hey.
I absolutely love what's his face? Chappelle's
Oh, that was great.
explanation about why Trump is good.
Yeah,
and he points out, I love that whole thing where he's talking about
not.
Hillary, and Hillary's like, he doesn't pay taxes, and he's like,
yeah, neither do your friends.
Yeah, and neither do your friends and your contributors don't want you to fix the tax code because they enjoy these same privileges.
Yeah. Spend.
No, it's perfect. It's brilliant. It's totally brilliant. Oh man, it's crazy. But I think they purposely tanked Strange World.
I could see that, man. And you know, and in this instance, man, so we talked about this the last time we did an episode, whenever that was. Bob Iger has a lot of things to, course correct for Disney. And I think one of the things that, the scoopers are picking up on right now is that he's going to dial back some of the stuff, dial back some of the fiscal agenda based pictures, I would say, is the most polite way for me to say it, right? I think representation is important. I think that saturation in the name of representation is stupid, right? Because people know when you're being disingenuous. And I think
like
Strange World,
for instance.
Exactly. Which I enjoyed the beginning of that show.
I enjoyed the first couple of episodes.
Yeah, we were like defending that shit.
And then I don't know what the fuck happened.
She-Hulk basically became our loose meat.
The sensational She-Hulk, more like the sensational loose meat. Lady says, I am actually thinking of switching jobs for a place with cheap housing.
Yes, I feel that.
And you know what's actually interesting? Back in the day, I know I'm one of these dorks who like compares to the fall of America to the fall of Rome.
Right.
But that was the appeal in the fall of Rome. That cities became wild, barbarians would attack and get through and destroy it. And then nobles, like rich guys, would be like, I'm building a fortress out here. If you guys farm my land, my knights will protect you.
Yeah.
That created the feudal world.
Yeah.
And so that's the same thing here, where like now people are dependent on their housing from their job.
Yeah.
I will work hard for you for a good place to live, which I did.
Yeah, no, I get it. When I was homeless, the one thing I always campaigned for as a homeless person was I'd be willing to work for 3 squares and a lodge. And I was like, oh man, I'd be willing to be a serf. I would be willing.
That's exactly how it was. When somebody had nowhere to go, they'd wander up into a place and they'd go talk to the castle, and the castle would be like, we'll give you food and a lodging. You just got to work the fields like a bitch. And they're like, it's better than dealing with the shit out there, man. Lady says, I didn't even know Strange World was a thing.
Exactly.
Right. I only know about it because I follow movies and stuff like that.
Right.
It's obvious.
Actually, I only know about it because of the scoopers and because of a trailer, and I could not make the connection when other scoopers were reporting on it, like this flop for Disney, and I was like, oh, that's that movie. I saw the trailer for it when I took my son to go see Wakanda Forever. Oh yeah, no one's promoting this. Here's the thing, right? In regards to the properties that we love and enjoy, I do think that Big Bob, like we said in the previous episode, is going to course correct in regards to no, yes, maybe, no. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be that type of thing. Like, does this need to be made? We need to be focusing on what's profitable, and we're going to see a version. We're going to see selective memory right here. Mantis, make sure you know that I called this first. Everyone made a big deal about Batgirl getting canned. Who knows what's gotten canned on the back end on the MCU? I have a conspiracy theory in regards to Blade. I think Big Bob was already like in the mix, as an advisor, and he probably read the original script and he's like, no.
Right. Like honestly, you're right. The council probably was like, we're gonna get rid of Chapek, and they brought Big Bob in, and they're like, will you look at what's going on here? And then he looked at the Blade script. He was like, what did he sign off on?
Because you're bringing in an Academy Award winner, Mahershala Ali. Shout out to him for sticking out this whole process, right?
Right, because honestly, a lot of actors walk away. Like, actually, Tom Cruise was originally supposed to be Iron Man, but Marvel couldn't get the money together. It was like it took several years, and finally, Tom Cruise was like, "Fuck this," and he walked away.
Yeah. Fuck Tom Cruise. I love Tom Cruise too.
Well, obviously, we're grateful. Robert Downey Jr. will always be
Yeah, you know what? Fuck him too, man. You know, all these legacy actors that are just like, I'm a thespian, and I'm like, this movie saved you. Let's not forget
Robert Downey Jr., I'm sure, is very happy that he was able to get a job at Marvel. He's grateful. He's just like, I just want to drink myself to sleep and not think about shit. Thank you for helping me work. I think that's how he is. I don't think he's a guy.
Yeah, but you know, I agree with your conspiracy theory. I want to parlay this into a conversation and go for it.
Real quick, Rogue Radio's comment. I feel like they did that not just to undermine parents, but to take advantage of negligent ones.
Oh, absolutely.
To just slap an iPod in front of their kid's face. I do agree. A lot of parents are not paying attention to what their kids learn in school.
Yeah.
And I agree. I was going to say the housing is shit, but a block from the beach ain't bad. Yeah, actually, absolutely.
Shout out to a block from the beach. Shout out to the Phoenix House in California. I don't know if I told you the story. There's a treatment center on the Santa Monica Pier in California. Substance
Doesn't
abuse.
that make them want to party more?
No. These motherfuckers are out roaming, living their best life. You know, if you get high at the Phoenix House, you're gone that day, right? But shout out to Ideal residential.
But how do they not run into people who want to party? Like they're on the beach and
you do, but you got to make a decision. You're like, do I want to, be homeless again with the motherfucker?
Like I'm jogging by and I'm like, what up, bitches? I'm like, what you up to? And I have no idea they're in recovery. You know what I mean? Like, take a snort. Let's party.
Let's see where this thing goes. Allow me to parlay this, right? Allow me to flip it. Slip it up, rub it down. Oh no. If you get that quote, drop it in the chat. Sony.
Wait, real quick, before you do anything, remind me, we have to make time for Kanye West.
We will make time.
The episode is going amazing, but we have to make time for Kanye West.
This will be quick. This will be quick because it's really not much here other than, duh type of stuff. We were talking about Sony earlier. We're talking about Disney losses, right? But we got to talk about Legendary jumping ship from the WB going over to Sony getting in bed with Amazon for distribution for some of their shows. And, I got to apologize to Sony on the episode of Talking with a Dad. I think I might have said 5 years ago, give it 3 years and Sony's going to be fucking under Apple's foot. And here they are, not revitalized. Let's not pretend like they're in a much better place. They're doing way better, but they're in a better place than they were definitely 5 years ago.
Here's the genius thing. And I'm going to reference what's going on in the entertainment industry to a Marvel movie. Probably one of the worst Marvel movies they have. I would put it in the top 5.
Iron Man 3.
Iron Man 2.
Oh.
So what's his face is that, the Iron Man has not had a good trilogy. Let's just get down. He's only good in other people's movies. But in 2, they're talking to what's his face, Whiplash, and Whiplash goes, there's blood in the water, and the sharks smell it. And I'm like, and that never happened in the movie, which was really what's stupid about the movie. Like one of the many things that's stupid about the movie. However, I feel here's what's going on with Marvel. Disney is losing money. Marvel is making less and less popular movies. There is blood in the water, and everyone around them, like Sony and DC, are smelling it. I believe that this, like, them taking a break and trying to redefine what is Marvel movies is gonna be DC rising, and like it won't surpass. I don't think it'll ever surpass, but it'll be competitive for a short time.
Right.
I also believe Sony can get back on the wagon. Sony, who was almost willing to sell their entire movie at one point in life, they were trying to sell their entire movie franchises away. They were like, we don't want to be in the movie business. I think they're going to get back on that wagon because they smell blood in the water.
Well, they're the perfect type of parasite, right? They latched on to Marvel, with a deal, and then started doing a little bit better, Pascal Productions, all that, et cetera, et cetera. I would like to reframe it because I agree with you. I want to reframe it to this. I want to bring it to a sports type of commentary. More importantly, combat sports, the truest form of sports. Everyone loves a winning champion, right? Boxing, MMA, what have you. Until that champion's won so much, and then he has a lackluster performance, and then all of a sudden,
everyone says, "I knew he was going to suck. He's breaking down, he's washed up, he can't handle himself, and all these things. And you're like, you didn't say this before his one loss. He has 39 victories and one loss, and suddenly you're talking shit. I feel you.
When you say, you look at the career of John Jones. John Jones, the most dominant lightweight heavyweight champion in MMA by far, right? But his last two fights at light heavyweight were not the best performances from John. Arguably, some people would say that his opponents won those fights and they gave it to him because he's the champion. Disney's been winning forever. Sony has latched on to Disney in regards to the Spider-Man deal. They still haven't gotten their shit together in regards to their own comic book franchises. But
it's on crack.
Yeah, they're on all the crack. But they've opened up an avenue, an opportunity with Amazon and Legendary, looking at how DC has handled things like HBO Max and the release of their movies, not keeping them in the loop in regards to premieres on HBO Max versus the theaters during COVID high times. And now Legendary's jumped ship and they're heading over to Sony for distribution.
So people don't realize how devastating this is.
Yeah, it's a bad one.
So people don't realize they're like Legendary. I see their name in front of credits all the time. Who are Legendary? Well, I'll tell you who Legendary is. Legendary aren't producers or anything like that. They're a bunch of rich guys who used to work in movies. They created a company where they're like, you know what? We'll finance movies that the studios don't want to take a risk on. They finance every one of who's that dude who did Inception and Interstellar?
And Batman and fucking
they do every one of his movies. They do Godzilla versus Kong and all these movies like that. They do other ones too, but they firmly only worked with Warner Brothers. And the idea was like, we will lend you money to make a movie, and then you pay us back with interest. And that was the sole purpose of their company. And they only worked with Warner Brothers.
Right.
And what it is they had people analyzing the scripts, and they told Warner Brothers if scripts were good or bad. And if they were bad, they were like, well, if you fix this, we'll pay for your movie.
Right.
And now the fact that Warner Brothers doesn't even have that, because honestly, it almost feels like Warner Brothers' only successful movies were Legendary movies, right?
Right. So they had Aquaman, they had Kong versus Godzilla, which did great streaming. I don't know what the actual numbers were, but yeah, man, it's crazy. This is crazy, right? So, but in a way, competition is healthy, right? You don't want to be cornered into one market. You want to be able to enjoy stuff. Obviously, Sony believes in their bullshit properties enough where they're making the last Venom movie. They're,
It's crazy that people finished the first one. Yes. Like I walked out of the first one. Like people are still watching this shit. It was hard to watch that end credit scene with Venom in it.
Yeah, it was hard to watch Morbius, but hey, they made a deal with Amazon, and for all you naysayers, Amazon obviously is not going broke anytime soon. Yeah.
I have a prediction though.
What's that?
So do you know what Vudu is?
Yes, it is a streaming platform owned by Walmart.
Yeah, and Sony. And so my idea is that it's a la carte. They only it's the same thing as iTunes movies where you just can pay for whatever movie is on it or whatever. It's the same shit.
There's
same
no benefits to Vudu. No. So back in the day when you signed up, you got 9 free movies, and I used my 9 free movies very well. I gotta say.
So what I think is going to happen is they're going to get so big on the bridges. Sony is going to be like, you know what? We're going to have original content on Vudu. We're going to do our own thing. And I think they're going to do this. And you know why all of this is happening? DCEU, James Gunn, repping. By the way, did you see the holiday special of Guardians of the Galaxy?
Haven't watched it yet. I heard it was amazing, though.
Hysterical. I had a good time. It's only an hour, but it's so good.
Okay.
Don't expect it's all comedy and fun, Christmas shit. But it's great. But what I'm saying is Marvel is having a hiccup. So I'm going back to my whole thing about sharks and blood in the water. They all smell blood in the water, and they're going to try to take advantage of this. And my prediction is Voodoo is going to become a thing So Sony's going to be like, we're going to have originals. We're going to make our own superhero content, like kind of thing.
No, and I wouldn't be mad at them for that. I would not be mad at them. I think one of the biggest mishandling of a streaming platform early on was for UFC Fight Pass. Obviously, before UFC made the deal with ESPN and they were still in bed with Fox, they came out with Fight Pass and you can order pay-per-view events on there. It was cheaper than ordering through your cable provider, and you would make you get discounts and stuff. They never utilized Fight Pass the way I thought they should have. And I would have leaned into that heavily and just been like, fuck the networks, right? Sink or swim. This is where you can find our content. Subscribe to us. All the money goes back to us.
I just think like I don't like small streaming companies that they're like Fight Pass, you pay just for UFC. No, it should be part of a bigger company.
Yeah, it should be a part of a bigger company, but then it kind of makes. You know what I did when they rolled out UFC on ESPN Plus and all the pay-per-views went there? I canceled my Fight Pass subscription. You know what happened after I canceled my Fight Pass subscription? They started dumping amazing content on there. UFC started hosting other events after everyone dumped their shit.
I think the only thing that can survive are big companies with like a lot of streaming catalog.
You are a shill
for
big companies.
No, because you have to be realistic. Well, I'm going to pay $10 a month just to watch UFC. Fuck that. You need to latch on to some other thing. What up, Matt? It's so good to have Matt here.
Hell, Matt. So in regards to your theory about voodoo, though, I think there's some credence there. I think
now that they have Legendary now that Sony has Legendary under their arm, they're gonna be like, we're gonna make all sorts of crazy things. And you know how Sony's trying to make all these crazy Spider-Man spinoffs? Yeah. I think it's all going to voodoo. I think they're gonna create a voodoo.
No, it's going to Amazon, man. It's going to Amazon
right now. Amazon. You're right. Amazon. It's contractually obligated to go to Amazon. I think once that contract is over, they're going to be like, you know what? We'll make our own streaming app. And they will get too big for their britches like anyone in Hollywood.
Yeah. But there's one thing they're forgetting, right? There's one Trump, no pun intended, Trump card that Disney has up their sleeve. And it was from an ingenious meme that I can't find anymore on Facebook. You might have seen this, right? It's about the demise of Disney in society, where it's like this happens, and then 2023, the world economy falls apart. Disney elects itself as a world power, and then becomes an evil conglomerate, and the masses turn against Disney. And then in 2030, they release Avengers versus X-Men, and they are forgiven entirely. I think everyone smells blood in the water, but the fact of the matter is, the consumer enjoys variety. So who wins here? We win here. The more content that's out there, then.
Well, although we don't win with the crazy shit they're doing on Sony because their movies are just garbage.
Yeah, I like the Spider-Verse movies, and I got to be honest, man. There's a lot of hype right now behind the official Spider-Man sequel game.
Oh no, obviously, but however, I'm gonna say, are you excited to see Madam Web? Are you excited to see Kraven the Hunter?
No.
Are you excited to see El Morte? Or you really want to see that?
Bro, I'm not excited to see Kraven the Hunter, especially since it came out that Kraven the Hunter is going to be a prequel and not Kraven the Finnish Hunter as we know him. It's going to be like Kraven the Hunter Rising.
It's pathetic, man. It's pathetic. Damn you, Sony. God damn you, Sony.
All right, you want to get to the meat and potatoes of the episode? I did not watch the interview myself, but you have Kanye West on the menu.
Yes, because I love it. Unfortunately, Matt Cat, you came a little late. You missed all the entertainment talking about like Marvel and comic book movies. The thing I want to talk about is what's going on with Kanye West.
Okay.
So obviously, I think everyone kind of knows what's going on with him, right?
Right. He's a rapper.
And he's black. Did you know that? He's black. But he ends up having dinner at Donald Trump's place with Nick Fuentes.
Strange, very strange. Multiverse of madness strange.
So I'm not quick to call people white supremacists. But Nick Fuentes is a white supremacist. The shit I've heard him say, I'm like, I hope they ban you on every media outlet. You are nuts, bro. You are nuts. He said, the country we live in is N-wordified. It wasn't as nice as me. And then he said that we're basically living in Africa, but we have stuff. He actually said that we have stuff. The only difference is we have stuff.
Yeah, he's also quoted as saying that most white women that date black men are going to be abused. I don't know what the numbers are there, but he said it. He said it. He said that shit. And he most famously came on the No Jumper podcast. And shout out to AD and the owner of the No Jumper. But those guys weren't prepared for him.
Right.
He's the type of information dump type of guy. If you're not really up to speed on the arguments. But so what happened when they went to dinner?
So they went to dinner. It was closed dinner. No one let us know what's going on. That's all we know. We have dinner, right? And so the next thing we know is that Tim Pool, who's considered a conservative podcaster, right?
Right.
He gets what's this guy? Yelanopoulos. I don't even know. It's a super Greek name. A gay guy is super conservative.
Yeah, that psychopath. Yeah.
They get him, Nick Fuentes, and of course Kanye West on the podcast, and they're like, and they film it. They put the visuals on YouTube like anyone does nowadays, right? So it's visual and audio, and they're like, let's talk, let's hang out. And at one point, Tim Pool is using the word they. He's like, they did you wrong, Kanye. They did you wrong. Yeah, and here's the first thing I want to say before we get any further on this. I do not understand why Kanye keeps hanging out with Nick Fuentes.
Yeah, that's weird.
Because someone who hates black people, that it blows my mind. That makes no sense.
Right.
And so he's like, he's going on. He's like, they wrong. And then Kanye's like, why don't you tell us who they are? And Tim Pool's like, I'm not using it the way you use it. I'm using it like, I'm talking about the media. Right?
Right.
Kanye suddenly, randomly, doesn't seem angry, but just gets up and walks out. He walks out on him talking.
Right.
So here's the biggest thing I want to address about this. Later on, Tim Pool admits, he said, Kanye, when he walked out, and he's walking out of my house, he grabbed a random thing. He's not saying what the thing is. He says he grabbed a random thing off of a shelf and just walked out with it. Just to be a dick. And I thought to myself, I was like, this is the Haven Boys.
Yeah.
This is what we would do. Like, if we got into an argument, we're like, fuck you, man. We're walking out. We take a plotted plan. And then we walk onto the train and we throw it in the tracks or some shit. Be a dick. And that's what Kanye did to this guy.
But here's the thing, man. Here's something that people really need to reconcile, right? There's a cost of admission, I believe, to be a black, quote unquote, black conservative, right? And that, no, hear me out. Hear me very clearly. This is just my vantage point, right? I believe you can embrace conservative ideals, but once you sit at a table with bona fide, not saying that everyone at that table was a racist, but once you sit at a table with bona fide racists, there's a litmus test of, well, how good are you with us, Kanye? And I think that Kanye, like Matt's saying in his thing, has mental health issues. I think he's cognizant enough to know sometimes when he's sitting at a table with people that are trying to get him to agree to some shit. Now, I don't know if that includes Tim Pool, but that definitely includes that fool Fuentes, right? I would happily sit across from a table or a podcast with him and press him on some of the insane things he said. And I'm like, you couldn't produce a data pool that could be verified for your statements if you tried, right? If you tried. All that information dump bullshit during a debate or quote unquote debate, YouTube is nonsensical. What needs to happen with Kanye at this point, man? And I hope, forget his handlers, forget all that argument stuff. He needs to take a hard look at himself and ask himself what he actually believes. Right. And when he lands on what he believes, surround yourself with people that believe that same thing and believe in you and want no harm for you. Don't be a puppet. That is the risk you run for being a black political pundit. Candace Owens had her own falling out with Donald Trump. It wasn't that widely covered. I'm not sure if you're up to speed on this.
I actually don't know. I didn't know that.
Yeah, Donald Trump said some not horrible things, but he said some things about Candace Owens, and she had to refute him on the Daily Wire. And obviously, she didn't go as hard as she would go as, say, if she was talking about someone from Black Lives Matter, but she had to defend herself against Donald Trump. And this is what I'm saying. There is a moment where you're going to have to ask yourself, are conservative ideals the same thing as, white nationalist ideals? And they're not. They're just simply not. They're not.
Yes. And the idea that white nationalist equals conservative, like, well, it's a conservative idea. No, it's not. Racism is not a conservative idea. Another thing they got to say is, like, they're all like, if you like gays or LGBT people, then you must be left. And if you don't like them, you must be right. That's fucking ridiculous.
It's absolutely ridiculous.
It's absolutely ridiculous. Matt says, I have to be honest, I feel bad for Kanye. I believe his mental health issues and is being taken advantage of by Milo Yiannopoulos and Nick Fuentes, and they are talking in his ear. Absolutely. He's looking for any ally. But you know what's crazy? So is Trump. Why is Trump inviting these people to his house? Makes no fucking Trump used to at least skirt the line about who was a white supremacist that he used to hang out with.
Yeah,
I feel like Nick Fuentes is the most offensive person I've ever seen on anything.
He's so offensive to the point where I practice my ideals. I don't want him to be deplatformed. I know that idiots like him and their idiotic statements can't stand up against the test of time. His comeuppance will come. He will be in the room with a person that's learned on the subjects that he's peddling, and they'll be able to thoroughly refute him.
I absolutely do not believe in deplatforming. I think you have to be pretty extreme for someone to deplatform you.
Yeah, if you're actively recruiting for the Taliban, for gangs, and for the KKK,
then get the fuck out of it. Yeah, absolutely.
Gangs, Taliban, that type of shit. Let me ask you a quick question, bro, in regards to Kanye and this whole shenanigan that's going on here right now. Kanye told a story the other day on IG, right? He dropped an IG video, and he was talking about, the whole schism he's having with Adidas, and he went to go use his Apple Pay one day, and he's like, I went from being a billionaire to not being able to use my Apple Pay. And it was because Adidas had found a way to legally freeze my accounts. And he was like, and I was thinking, his words, if they can do this to me, they can do this to you. And I was like, wow, that was very well articulated, Kanye. And then I thought, that sounded like something a presidential candidate would say. Like, it sounds like a polished line.
Are you gonna vote for him?
Kanye? No.
I am. No, I'm kidding.
No, absolutely not.
I'm just saying, like, I do love the guy. He has a lot of mental health issues, and I really hope he gets the help that he has. I mean, let's get real. He spoke about a group of people he should not be speaking about. And I speak about all sorts of people, all sorts of colors, sizes, genders, religions, whatever it is. I will not say the things that he said because I want to work one day. You know what I'm saying? And he must be crazy because he went to the point where he would talk shit about that,
Well, now we'll see how long his dollar really is, because I believe the contract is ironclad with Adidas. They have to pay. We'll see when they pay and if they do it publicly or not. And same thing with Kyrie Irving, right? The movie in question, people were asking what it was. It's from Hebrews to Slaves, and he shared a link to this movie in regards to the Black Hebrew Israelite. They prefer to be called Hebrew Israelites, not Black Hebrew Israelites. It goes against the message. The fact of the matter is this, in regards to Kanye, right? Does he have I can say whatever I want to say money? Because I think Dave Chappelle, who is way less rich than him, actually has I can say what I want to say clout, right?
You know why? Because he's funny.
Yeah. and because his points are well articulated, right? His weakest argument was in a stand-up routine that he did about Candace Owens, and I know he wasn't trying to be serious in regards to refuting Candace Owens. He's just like, I'm just going to make fun of this woman. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to make fun of her. Kanye is not someone that I believes. I don't know if he really understands the things that he's saying, but that doesn't mean he shouldn't be held accountable, right? I don't know if he believes the things he's saying or is it just a tangent, but he says them. Right, and I refuse to give him a pass on sitting down at the dinner table with Nick Fuentes and whatever that guy's name with the 8 syllables. Because they're racist. They are, man, and I'm not quick to throw that word around. They are absolutely racist.
Is he really at this point where he has to hang out with racists because no one else will chill with him? Although word on the street is Sneeko literally said, my boy Kanye's having a rough one. I'm going to stop doing live streams so I can spend more time with Kanye. And I'm like, Sneeko, what are you doing, bro?
Sneeko's an interesting case, man. And I think that he's everything that happened with him, man. And someone made a really strong refutation video about his surface level Christian views. And I would have to agree with it. You know, you can't be Christian to the point where it just agrees with your surface level political views. So Sneeko's just an interesting guy to me. You know, obviously he had a falling out with ABBA from ABBA and Preach with his whole deplatforming thing, but you reap what you sow, right? And you got to be willing to stand by your words. So in regards to Kanye, man, it sucks that he's in this place, man. Like, I really wish that, in all honesty, not for clout, I wish I was his friend and I'd be like, hey, man, I understand what you're saying, but these people aren't going to be here for you for the fallout. They're just not.
No, they're not, and they're using him. They're absolutely using him. So basically, they're using Kanye as smokescreen. That they're like, look, we're not real racists, so people start to listen to them. But if you listen to what they have to say, they are clearly racists.
Yeah. yes, they are.
And what it is I will call a spade, and I cannot stand it when people are like, the Quarteringer's racist, Lauren Chen is racist. They're not, those people are not racist. They're conservatives. It's totally different. These guys, however, for some reason, Kanye has found himself at the dirty, messed up end of the pool.
Yeah, he's on the worst parts of the internet.
Where people are pissing and shitting.
He's on the worst parts of the internet, man.
If I want to take a dump, I know to do it over in Kanye and Nick Fuentes' side of the pool.
Man, the crazy thing is, though, about this whole situation, man, there's so many people that I would hold in well, I can't hold anyone accountable, but there are so many people I think are going to be held account for their words and their actions in this whole content creation space. And we were talking about Nick Fuentes, and I brought up No Jumper, and it's just this, man, right? So you bring Nick Fuentes on to debate with a bunch of black men who aren't learned in these topics on a channel that already propagates and perpetuates gangbanging culture and stuff like that. It's just like, at what point do we all take a long, hard look at ourselves and go, this is bullshit, man. This is bullshit. Don't be a part of the problem. Be a part of the solution. And I'm not just saying that as a surface level thing. Educate yourself on the topics, man. I would never agree, ever, and you know this about me, to go on to a public debate with anyone unless I already had their number, right? I'd be like, we can schedule something.
So how is Trump's like, I don't know who these people are. I had dinner with them. What the fuck? Just like Kanye could later on be arguing, I didn't know he was a racist. You don't research someone before you go hang out with them. That's insane. That's anti-internet. The internet is there to research. All I do is research people all fucking day. Someone sends me a fucking Twitter comment. I before I comment, I researched them. I found out who the mama is, who the baby mama is, and where they were raised.
I agree with everything you guys are saying, except I don't know who Sneeko is. Matt, do yourself a favor.
He's a red pill guy.
Yeah. You know what's crazy? I forgot. It was
he's a red pill guy who got kicked off of YouTube, and he's now on Rumble. And then him going to Rumble created even more fans going to him. And then when he was allowed back on Twitter, he got a shitload more fans.
Oh yeah, the spikes are real.
Yeah, his main shit is talking shit about, well, women who think they're all that, basically.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you know, red pill, yet again, another interesting community, right? You know, I am not red pill, even though a lot of people think that I am. I can recognize the things that we agree on, but then I'm very very vocal about the things we don't agree on. It's bullshit, man. It's absolute bullshit, man. Not the way I wanted to end this show, but so I'll bring in a little levity to it, little levity to the show, man, and we get your thoughts on something, right? I finally watched the entire Dave Chappelle 15-minute stand-up routine, best stand-up routine ever on.
Amazing, definitely the best. Yes, the best monologue SNL has ever been blessed with.
Yes,
They should be thanking God they had that.
Yeah, absolutely. And then after watching that, I saw, and this is a larger nonsensical point I'm about to make. I then turned to another video on YouTube in regards to the protests going on in China, right? Which I found interesting because it's protests about the heavy restrictions in regards to COVID. Right? Largest protest they've had in the country since Tiananmen
People are
Square.
saying there might be a revolution. That's how scared they are.
Well, they all went to go get tested the next day. I just want to point that out. We got protests in Iran.
I've never been tested, not even for.
Wait, you've come up to my house under the stipulation that you've been tested before.
Remember, I know Photoshop. So when your wife was like, "Let me see your test," it was like, "Boom, Photoshop correctly." No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
You spell positive wrong. It says positive.
No, I've had the fucking thing shoved up my nose.
Yeah. It's crazy though, man. We got all this fucking shit going on.
Myself.
We got all this shit. We got all this shit going on in these places I would never suspect that it would happen. Boris is out. The woman after him is out. And here we have Fanboy Modeling School, the last place you can come to get honest opinions, not news, but opinions on the news.
Where you can be yourself. You can't hustle your garbage. You can be yourself. And we'll love you.
We'll love you. And we appreciate your donations. My man, what do you got going for this week?
Well, before we really get into that, I want to point out Matt's comment right now.
Oh, yeah.
Matt said, "Man, I really need to get on Rumble." Real quick. We got a fan out about Wednesday next week. Yeah, I'm doing a fanboy. I'm doing a Rogue Planet about Wednesday. But Matt says we really need to get on Rumble. Here's what I'm saying: both Odyssey and Rumble have a feature where if you have a YouTube channel, put in all your information. And you can say there's like a sync thing, and they'll take all your videos. Well, actually not to a certain point, but they'll put them on their app.
Right.
So you will not only have an account, but you'll have filled with videos. And actually, I think that's amazing. You guys really need to check this out. There's no reason any of you who do YouTube should not also be on Odyssey and Rumble. They're also free speech. So God forbid you're ever banned or canceled on YouTube. Your videos are saved on these other apps.
We were talking about doing a late night fanboy after dark on Rumble. It's just they have some weird stuff in their contract.
That's the problem. Rumble charges you to go live.
Yeah, it's fucking bullshit.
And Odyssey to go live, you know, instead of having a certain number of followers, people have to have donated to your channel a certain amount before you're allowed to.
It's crazy. It's madness.
Which you can't do yourself. And I'm saying these are flaws of the apps. Obviously, YouTube rules everything. They're in control of everything. But I'm saying, Matt, you should do it. Definitely do it. We're going to talk about Wednesday because I love Wednesday. You know what else I love? Pepsi, Where's My Jet?
What?
Have you heard this?
No.
There's a 4-episode documentary on YouTube that came out this weekend called Pepsi, Where's My Jet? So in the 90s, Pepsi had a thing where they had a point system where you are where basically what it is like you could get a leather jacket for a certain number of Pepsi.
Oh, okay, I got you.
Yeah, and in their commercial, they put in Harrier Jet, 7 million Pepsi points, no fine print. They put it in as a joke, but they didn't realize without putting fine print, this kid who found a way to find 7 million Pepsi points is entitled to a fighter jet now. You need to watch this documentary.
I'm going to watch that.
It's only 4 episodes, but it's a good time. It'll make you feel feelings. It has all sorts of twists. So that came out this weekend. Wednesday came out off of the Addams Family. Love that.
Wait,
And Guardians of the Galaxy.
real quick, in regards to Wednesday, before you do your Rogue Planet and you get into it, and Bex, this is for you too. Mantis, are you up on YouTube's Adult Wednesday? Have you ever seen that?
What's that?
You don't know about Adult Wednesday? All right, this is one of the best kept secrets in the internet, and it also had to be pulled because of contractual stuff. So there is a director who made a video series on YouTube called Adult Wednesday,
and it's actually the actual actress who's grown up. The original Wednesday grown up.
It's not the original Wednesday. It's not Richie. This is just a woman.
No, before her, the one before her.
No, it's not her either. This is an independent person. They're a filmmaker. I was just watching a whole thing about this. It was on Looper, and she had to stop making.
I'm telling you, that's the original Wednesday. The original Wednesday who played.
Share the screen, you psychopath. I'm sending you the link. Because they've pulled it down.
I've seen things of it.
You stay right there. I hate doing this to you, you fucking maniac. You fucking. Oh, Geeks and Gamers is live. I'm gonna go in there and. Oh wait, what?
You're on stream right now. Matt says, I loved Pepsi. Where's my jet? Wednesday was woke garbage. Figured everything out away. Mediocre at best. Yo, Matt, how is it woke? There's nothing woke. Most of the people in there are white. What are you talking about?
Hold on.
About Wednesday at all.
Can you I'm sending you something in Discord. And this is not about being right or wrong. This is about the way Hollywood works, and it's absolutely amazing. So this person created this YouTube channel, and it's since been removed, and it was in preparation for this Wednesday show that you love coming out. I just sent it to you. Adult Wednesday is so good. Matt knows what I'm talking about. This is, you'll see what I'm saying.
Upwards of $30,000. In this economy, that is nothing to joke about.
Well, it's also imperative that Mr. Warren's assistant be prompt.
Oh, that won't be a problem. I'm an early bird.
Right now?
My coffin only allows for 6 hours of oxygen.
So what you're hearing is the audio from Adult Wednesday, and this is a director and a writer, this young lady, and she loved Wednesday growing up, and she created this YouTube series called Adult Wednesday, and it got pulled from the internet. You can still find it, obviously, on different channels that are not from her, but contractually they made her pull it down, and it was in preparation for this. And it's absolutely comedically, it's amazing, it's funny, it's a good time. I just want you to watch it before you do your review of this Wednesday. Two totally different shows, but I think you're gonna dig it.
Yeah, no. I can't wait to check it out. I can't wait to check this thing out.
It's good stuff.
It's gonna be a good time. But what is going on this week? Either tomorrow, I'm still doing it. Either tomorrow or Thursday, I'm going to be doing a Rogue Planet featuring the anime Erased.
Okay.
With my guest Bellboy. We're going to be talking about that anime and all sorts of shenanigans. Other than that, not much going on, brother. Obviously, it's holiday season. Trying to get back into it. What about you? What do you have planned for this week?
So this Thursday, we'll be coming back with Pillow Talk, Pink Princess, aka Rebecca, aka PKA, the Pink Princess, and we'll be jumping back in there. I'm planning a little something for my boy DJ Cincy Star. I was gonna hit you up with a flyer for that. I'm gonna show my boy some love. Maybe this weekend. If I'm not working a 12-hour shift, I wanted to do something for my guy, and donations and proceedings going to my boy there in honor of DJ Cincy Star and the great work he's done with Request Box Live. And then obviously Conversations is officially back, so we'll be going back to our original Conversations format. Every other Tuesday will just be topical. I'll have a live panel come up, like we used to do on the Green Room days. And I'm going to be leaning heavily into that. I still think there's some viability in audio only, so I'm trying to figure out where I can revitalize it. It will not be Spoon. And that's not anything against the great content creators over there at Spoon. It's just like you can never go back. You can only go forward.
We love you guys, but grow the fuck up and leave the app. But honestly, it's gonna be a good thing. I'm getting into it. I'm going to do the 12 Nights of Christmas this year.
Oh yeah, we got to do it. That was great. You scheduled out some good shit, man. We got
Yeah,
to.
we're gonna do this again. We're gonna have a lot of good time. We're gonna have a bunch of streamers doing it. We're gonna have a good time this December. Let's embrace this holiday. We love you all. Honestly, I feel like we killed it tonight. We touched on everything, man.
Yeah, usually we're rusty when we come back. The transitions were good. The levity was good.
We're amazing.
Fuck Quentin Tarantino. Fuck James Cameron and J Lo.
The only thing I didn't say was
Fuck
Avatar 2 is gonna suck and bomb. But now that I've said it, we can move on. Am I right?
That's right.
Rebecca says I feel attacked. Bex, I love you, but find a real app. We love you all. Remember to subscribe to this channel, like this video, and keep tuning in to Fight Juice Online. We love you guys. Until next time, ciao from motherfucking now.
Peace.
Bye.
Peace.